My father continuously makes fun of my body and won't listen when I ask him to stop because he is just joking, so my in-laws had enough and crushed his ego. I am very insecure about my body and have been since I was a child. I am especially insecure about my stomach and thighs. I eat right, but it's an issue that will forever haunt me. I am 5 feet 3 inches and weigh about 50 to 55 kilograms. My stomach is a bit plump, and my thighs are pretty large. My body is covered in stretch marks from God knows where. I have been teased about this in school to the point of dropping out due to mental health and trauma, to the point of nearly ending it all. My teachers even laughed at me when I asked them for help because my parents brushed me off. The only thing holding me together with sparkly glitter glue was that godsend of a date I am still with today. He always assures me that my body is perfect to him, but I could never truly believe it. I could never shake away those memories, and I can't shake away the comments from my father, the person who I looked up to and respected. My father has always been a joking person. He always finds a way to lighten up a room, but now, I don't think I can ever see him the same again. He knows how I feel about my body. He has always supported me and encouraged me to train if I wanted to, but now I feel like it was just an act. About a year ago, the comments started. They were initially innocent, so I brushed it off as his jokes. Then came the hip pinching, the stretch marks, dad jokes, the remarks about wearing tighter pants to hide my oversized legs. It hurt. I couldn't deal with it then, so my aunt, who I consider a mother, took matters into her own hands. It stopped for a while, until a few months ago. I was slowly getting comfortable with my body again and decided to wear shorts for the first time in a long time when we went to visit my parents. I had my back turned while talking to my mother. My stomach dropped when I felt the pinch on my thighs. I knew what was coming. He said, "What's with this? I thought you diet." And he jiggled the skin of my thigh, emphasizing what he was referring to. I couldn't stop the sob, and I just left. My partner didn't know what was happening when I pulled him to the car and asked him to drive home. I was a mess. That night, he just held me, and I was grateful for his presence. All the memories started coming back with that single joke. He still found ways to comment on my body, but I forced myself to ignore it and act unbothered. That brings us to 3 days ago. It was nearing my birthday, so my mother and I discussed an outfit to get me. She wanted to look for something personally, so she needed my measurements, which I gave her. She was using my dad's phone as she had a bad streak of luck with breaking hers. My dad then started. He asked me why my waist was so wide, why my hips were so high, why wasn't I proportioned right? If I was sure, I measured in cm instead of I went along with it because I wanted to be a better person, but I failed. I broke when he told me that I would never be able to fit into any of the outfits my mother showed me. It's pointless, and I should just cut holes into a bag and wear it to my birthday party instead because it's the only thing I will fit in. He didn't stop there. No, he said it needed to be long enough to make me look at least normal. I dropped my phone at that point, sobbing. I couldn't stop, and again, my partner just held me, whispering reassuring words throughout my breakdown. I ended up trying to talk to him, trying to get him to stop. He just brushed me off like my school days. He told me he was only joking and I needed to stop being so serious, that I can't help my body turn out the way it did. The worst part was they visited me today, and I had to act fine because we had other guests over. It didn't take long for the jokes and pinching to start. In front of everyone, he pinched my thigh when I walked past, he pinched my stomach, and my hips. He said I was getting bigger because of my stretch marks, which he apparently never knew were there. He asked if I was mad at him, but I could only plaster on a smile because I couldn't say anything. I was on the brink of bursting into tears. When they left, he tried to joke around and pinch me again. I managed to choke out "Please stop," and he told me to stop being dramatic and accept that it was a joke. My partner was unhappy, but I asked him not to intervene. I appreciate that he is here for me, but I cannot handle a fight right now. He's been trying to cheer me up, showing me cute outfits, saying how nice I will look in them and all other stuff, but I can't bring myself to let it go. I know it's not his fault, and I'm wrong for not wanting him to step in, but I just need a hug right now. Update: I sat my father down as requested and tried to speak to him again. It ended up being the same as the previous times. My partner's father had heard of what had been happening but had never witnessed it until yesterday. My parents came over to visit again without knowing my partner's parents were there. My dad didn't seem to care that there was a new member to the audience and started his poop. I was wearing a pair of tights, which some of you know as leggings, as my sweats were dirty. I rarely wear tight clothes as they fuel my father's insults. I was making coffee, and he shouted, "Why are your thighs jiggling like that? Do you train?" My mother laughed like it was the funniest thing ever, and I heard a smack and my dad yelping straight after. That's a common thing between my parents, but it usually only happens in front of others. My future in-laws said nothing, but they were confused and annoyed. After the next couple of pinches, smacks, and comments, my partner's dad lost it. He started criticizing my dad and told him that he was a pathetic excuse for a father. I told him that for all these years, he had to ensure I was okay because he didn't have a effing clue to raising a child. How sick he was for even thinking it was okay to treat a daughter like that. He made sure to tell him how he had damaged me mentally to the point of just accepting it. How often did his son have to hold me until I cried myself to sleep over one of his jokes? That went on for what seemed like forever, and my partner soon joined in. It ended up being turned to my mother, who tried to switch sides again. My partner's mother is a good woman, but she has a nasty side and wasn't afraid to show it. She is one woman you don't want to upset, aside from my aunt, who was called and gladly snuck her nose in. She ended up saying that they either apologize and get the F out or they no longer have a daughter. They apologized, but my dad still couldn't see why it was so wrong to joke. It's what fathers do. I was crying during the extent of it and still am. It was not about the fight but the fact that I knew just how pointless it was. I was right. He returned today and gave me a bag with holes cut into it. Got your outfit. Make the holes bigger for your arms and thighs, too. Make sure to wear a belt. I just froze in place and could only focus on his smirk. I was still standing there, bag in hand, as he drove away. Later today, I got a message from him about my writing and art that he found. He started mocking that, too. He commented on how I wish I could be as perfect as the characters I come up with. I use writing and drawing to cope, and he is right. I wish I could be that perfect, that confident, normal, but I'm not. I'm a fuck up. He made that clear. He made sure to let me know that I would never be as good, that I don't have the gene that's been passed down through generations. Maybe they would have done it better if my brother and sister were alive. They died at birth. So, not only am I a mistake, but I am also a second choice. I am a F up entirely. Update 2. I worked up enough courage and did what needed to be done. With the help of my aunt, she was more than happy to help and end it. She is also looking into making me rightfully hers, and I couldn't be more grateful. We made him a gift basket with a note since he loves to read what I write so much and won't bother listening in person. Dear Dad, since you like my writing so much, I decided to take the time to spell this out for you. This basket contains many options to help you. I've noticed your body has lost its good shape, which is not pleasing. So I have included many workout pamphlets and personal trainer contacts to help you with that. One in particular will surely help you with that stomach of yours. I can only imagine your frustration having a daughter who is fitter than her father. Since you love taking your frustrations out on me, I highly recommend reading through the therapist contacts I have included in this basket. I will advise you to let mom seek out these therapists, too, as her backbone is non-existent, and she lets awful men walk all over her. I can't imagine what the death of my brother and sister did to her and you, not having the chance to pass down the gene you love so much. Fun fact, 50 to 55 kilograms for a woman who is 5 feet 3 inches is healthy if not bordering on being underweight. However, 100 to 108 kilograms for a man in his 50s and scraping 5 feet 5 inches is concerningly overweight. I would suggest taking care of that. I would hate for someone to start mocking you about it. It is very unpleasant. Now, all pleasantries aside, this will be the last time you hear from me. This will be the last time I call you mom and dad. Since I have all of my documents, I no longer need to converse with you. Your names have been taken off the guest list for my 21st, which you so graciously refused to help pay for. If you do show up, I will have police escort you off the premises. If you show up at my new house or merely follow me to the store, it will result in the police being called. If you continue this behavior, I will file a restraining order against both of you. If you would like a reason for this, you will have to find it yourself. It is quite obvious, but since you are so focused on damaging me into submission, I fear you will never understand. That is not my problem. Yes, you did bring me into this world, but you are not my parents. I have a family, and you will never be a part of it. Please do take my advice and seek help. This is not a joke, Dad. Yours truly. I know the note was rushed and short, but it was all I could write. My aunt's phone has been blowing up but has ignored and blocked their numbers. She has even made sure to let the rest of our family know what has happened and why. As far as I know, they have been getting berated and disowned. I can't help but feel a little bit of pride,